In this special episode, we sit down with the CEO of the Grapevine Chamber of Commerce to discuss the current state of business in Grapevine, local economic growth, and how the Chamber is supporting innovation, expansion, and community leadership. Tune in as we talk through trends, challenges, and opportunities shaping Grapevine's future. Welcome to Hometown Banknotes, where economy, bank life, and hometown spirits meet. I am your host, Janice Spooner, a local banker and proud community advocate. On this show, we will share conversations that connect dollars to decisions and people to purpose. At NBT Financial Bank, we're rooted in community, growing your financial future, and this podcast brings that mission to life. Whether you're a business owner, a neighbor, or just curious about what makes our local economy tick, this is the space for you. Remember, at NBT Financial Bank, we're more than just your bank. We're your partner in progress. Today's guest is a dynamic lady. She is the CEO of the Grapevine Chamber of Commerce, a key voice guiding economic collaboration and community leadership in one of the most vibrant cities in DFW. Before we dive in with our guest, let's set the stage with a quick look at where we stand economically, both nationally and locally, and really understand the high level and the details. Before I do share those details, I think it's important to acknowledge the broader uncertainty many businesses are feeling right now, especially in light of the shifting tariffs and the ripple effects they create across supply chains, pricing, and long-term planning. The volatility in these are really affecting small businesses and how they are trying to plan for their future. So stay tuned, more to come on the tariffs and those changes and shifts in the days and weeks and months to come. It is yet another reason why having strong local leadership like we have here in Texas, from the state level down to the local cities like Grapevine, it matters because we can't always predict the national winds, but we can build resilience together right here at home. Now, let's share some additional high-level details, both national and local. I'm going to explain some of these points as we go through, so bear with me as I get to the acronyms. GDP. This means the U.S. economy is growing at a moderate pace because the current rate is 3.0% in Q2 of 2025. And this is good for business across the country, including Grapevine. The unemployment rate is 4.1% approximately nationwide. And this is close to a historic low, suggesting that most people who want jobs have them, although hiring in some sectors has slowed. And let's move over to the inflation rate. It is year over year approximately 2.7%. And prices are still rising, especially in housing and services, which impacts business costs and consumer spending here at home. And finally, let's talk about the federal funds rate. That range right now is between 4.25% and 4.5%. And this is the interest rate the Federal Reserve uses to manage inflation, which means higher rates can make borrowing more expensive for businesses and consumers, which affects growth and loan demand locally. Small business sentiment. It's cautiously stable. Nationally, small businesses are still concerned about high costs, but confidence is holding steady, much like what many local DFW entrepreneurs are also expressing. Now to our local economic snapshot for Grapevine, Northeast Tarrant County, and at large, the DFW area. Commercial development. There is over 275,000 square feet of commercial space that is being built or planned right here in Grapevine, which reflects investor confidence in our growing market. Unemployment rate for Tarrant County, it's actually 3.2%, and this is even lower than the national average, showing strength in our local labor market. Our local area chamber membership trends. Membership is growing steadily with increased engagement in leadership and development programs that prepare local professionals for long-term success. In this area of DFW and specifically Grapevine, our key local industries are hospitality, logistics, which is warehousing and distribution, financial services, and healthcare tend to drive our local DFW economy. With that context in mind, let's bring in our guest to talk about how Grapevine's business community is adapting and thriving and leading the way into the second half of 2025. Welcome to RaDonna Hessel, CEO of the Grapevine Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you for having me.
We are so excited that you've joined us today, RaDonna. I want everybody to know, everybody in Grapevine knows you, but I want everybody watching to know who you are. So tell them a little bit about yourself.
So, RaDonna Hessel, I have been with the Grapevine Chamber now for 17 years. And I tell people I grew up in the chamber business. I started in my 20s. I've been a part of 5 chambers of commerce throughout Texas, most of them in the Metroplex. It's been about 37 years that I've been in the chamber business, and I've worked my way from originally was part-time tourism, part-time receptionist, and then I was an office manager, became a vice president, and have now been a president of a chamber for about 27 years.
That is amazing, and a rich history and why you do so well at your job. I really appreciate everything that you do for our city of Grapevine.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to ask and answer a lot of questions today, and it's about Grapevine, our Chamber of Commerce, our economy, and really what's going on. So let's start with our economic pulse and leadership. How would you describe the business culture right now in Grapevine?
I think it's cautious. I think as everyone in America is right now with the changes, as you said, and tariffs, et cetera, I think people are a little cautious in the decision making that they're doing. But I think overall it's very positive. Our city manager said at one point in time, Grapevine is on third base. It's really kind of hard to mess it up in that we have such a diverse market for a community of 50,000 people, but a workforce of probably 150 to 200,000 people. We have a lot of opportunity, whether it's the logistics, whether it's the everybody knows us for the tourism and the festivals, et cetera. And so there's a lot of hope for the future.
Absolutely. What economic shifts have most impacted chamber members this year?
I think just concern, the unknown. The unknown is always scary. You can be really positive. 5 years ago, it was COVID. I think people felt like they were coming out of that and doing fairly well. Politics change, policy changes, and people just are waiting to see what happens. I think that slows purchasing down. I think it slows travel down. It slows a lot of our economy. But again, in our location, we still have great travel, great visitors, and great businesses that are here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've loved the chamber, and I really want to talk just a moment about the chamber growth and innovation. You've really led some strong initiatives. So right now, what are you most excited about in the chamber?
We're not afraid to try anything once, and several of our activities have really been beneficial to our businesses. And part of that is because it's done by our businesses. Our businesses make recommendations of what they'd like to see happen, what we need to be doing for them. And I think we do a pretty good job of that. I think for Grapevine specifically, our young professionals are an awesome look into our future. We have 60 to 70 that have lunch every month. They're doing great work. That's doing
amazing.
It's crazy. It's, there's probably about 130 of them that are members, but, like with anything, some come and can, and so, but they do great work together, and they're growing together, and they're learning together. And recently we had to start a group called Prime Plus because we had so many of our young professionals aging out. They still wanted to be together. So we started a separate group for those that are, over the age of 40. We don't have a cap on the top, just on the bottom. But they're carrying on a lot of the work that they did as young professionals. So that's exciting. That's just exciting for our future.
Absolutely. I've not seen a young professionals group so active, and I've seen a lot, and my team, they're involved in it. But what this one is extraordinary. So well done to you and the staff and leading this effort. So great job.
Thank you.
How have you seen the chamber membership grow or change this past year in size or focus?
It's interesting. We've lost members, businesses. in life, businesses come and go. So we've had several businesses that have either closed or merged. Retirements have had a lot of retirements in the last couple of years. People just not, just wanting to take time off and enjoy life. But we've also, I think when the economy, it's always interesting to me, when the economy gets a little slow, we have more businesses join the chamber because they realize it's an inexpensive way to advertise. Some of them were members when they got started, and then they grew and, I don't need the chamber anymore. But when the economy gets a little tight, they realize, wow, the networking, the inexpensive advertisement, just the social part of it is well worth their time. So we actually have people walking in the door and joining the chamber. Not that I don't have great staff that are bringing them in, but we find tough times bring more people.
Well, and I always say with your chamber, in any chamber, you get out what you put in, right?
Definitely.
So you're active, you're meeting people, you're networking, you're building your sphere, your circle, and creating those lifelong friendships and kindred spirits. I think that is so important for newcomers to the chamber to really understand. Don't you agree?
I do, to a point. I always tell people, for the price of membership, you can't buy an ad anywhere that is 24/7, 365 days a year. So to me, when you join, that's having your name in the chamber website. It's having your name on our directory, all of that. But when you get involved, you do develop tremendous relationships. And we all do business with people we know.
Yeah.
We refer people we know. And so instead of, having, I'll say phone book, but a lot of you don't know what a phone book is. But, it's a way of having an in-touch personal phone book.
Mm-hmm. Is there a specific way the chamber is looking to help small businesses during the rising cost environment that they're experiencing?
I think we try to provide opportunities for education because we all need to learn. The day we stop learning is the day we stop growing. Mm-hmm. So I think one of the things that we do pretty well is listen to our members and find out what their questions are, and then find people to do those answers, or to get as close as we can to an answer as we can. So I think we provide a lot of opportunity for businesses. They are looking for what is the solution. And again, a little bit of that goes back into the people we had a meeting one time with a group of CEOs, and one of them realized that a product that they needed, they were getting shipped from outside of the state, was actually being created not even 5 blocks from their office.
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, you never know what's in your backyard until you get to know the people that are in your backyard.
That is a great statement. Yeah, great wisdom. Well, a lot of people don't understand the Chamber of Commerce versus the visitor bureaus. So how does that work between you and the Visitor Bureau in Grapevine?
So for most convention and visitors bureaus, CVBs, for those of you that want to hear the acronym, they are typically a city department. Occasionally a city will contract with a chamber to run the CVB, but in Grapevine, we have a very large convention and visitors bureau because of the number of hotel rooms, which is where the funding comes from for that organization. So we are separate. We are a nonprofit organization of businesses. And as businesses, we work together to market, communicate, collaborate, and advocate. The Convention and Visitors Bureau is there to get heads in beds. They are there to promote and bring people into our community. We have the advantage of a very open door policy, City and Convention and Visitors Bureau, and we work seamlessly together. So we talk on a regular basis. We work together. It's a great opportunity.
That's great. Thank you for that outline so that people really understand separate entities, but working in collaboration together. And that's what I'm passionate about, is truly leadership and collaboration. And the passion just from the chamber to my community groups, memberships, otherwise, how can we help each other and grow as a city? So let's talk about what role the chamber plays in cultivating leadership. You mentioned young professionals, but what else do you have?
So we actually have Leadership Grapevine, which I'm very proud to say, when you look at the history of our Leadership Grapevine program, several of our city leaders came through Leadership Grapevine first. That's how they found the opportunity. And it is a program to not just teach business people, leaders about Grapevine specifically, but we understand that we are not an island, and Grapevine is very dependent on what happens around us. And so we try to focus each month on a topic and look at how Grapevine works with our neighbors, whether it's economic development, whether it's education, hotel, motel, tourism. It's a great opportunity, and we've attempted to keep the class at 35. I heard from my staff we're at 42 for this year, so it's a little up. But we have a waiting list to be a part of that organization. And then we keep those leaders attached through an alumni program, and then they help train the leaders that are coming behind them. And that program, I want to say, has been in existence for about 36 years. So there's a lot of leaders that have come through that program.
That is spectacular. Wow, the largest leadership group that I know of. So well done.
Thank you.
Yet again. How are businesses, or how can you tell businesses or community members to get involved?
Show up. Get to know your neighbors, get to know the community. I think chambers of commerce, I always tell people, we are the Grapevine Chamber of Commerce, but we have a lot of businesses that surround us that are a part. Get involved in your local chamber first. That's important because those are your neighbors. Find other chambers that you want to market to. I always tell people, if you're taking money out of our community, then you need to be putting money and time into our community. And the other thing I would say to people is, I always say crooks don't pay dues. So when you're looking for a plumber or a roofer, if you look at your local chamber of commerce, crooks don't pay dues. These are people that have, some of them have been members for 10, 20, 30 years. We know them, we trust them. And that's a great way to grow your business, by working with other businesses that are positive. And as a young person, I would encourage you to find a mentor. Find somebody in a business that you look up to and would like to be, and then tell them you'd love for them to be your mentor. And I think in the Chamber of Commerce, you can find those people.
Absolutely. What a true asset. Well, you've definitely shared with us a lot of great wisdom and great insight. And so today, let's wrap up with an important component, and that is vision. Vision ahead. What is your vision for the Chamber and Grapevine in the next 12 to 24 months?
I think a lot of it is to get through this patch that we are in right now on the political side of the world. I would love to see everyone just come together. I'm a person that loves the aisle. I'm not looking at the right or the left. I love the aisle in the middle, and I think everybody can meet there and, do good things. I think we will continue to grow through the chamber. I think several of our events will continue to grow. And we just look forward to being around people. I always tell people the reason I do my job is because chamber members are the best people in a community. They understand that they're there to give back, they're there to be a part, and they're there to teach the future generations. So get involved. And if it's not the chamber, find an association or a group to be involved in.
Well, and that leads me to my last question, and you maybe already answered that in some way, but what's the one piece of advice you would give a new business coming and opening in Grapevine?
I think join the chamber. I have to say that.
Yeah.
Join the chamber, but don't just join the chamber. Come find how you fit. I will say one of the things that makes Grapevine different is that everyone expects you to be involved, and not involved in your business, but they expect you to be involved in the community. And that's how you find those friends. That's how you find those other businesses. Become involved. Don't just spend your time inside those four walls, whether it's a morning networking group, a noon networking group, afternoon networking group, a committee. Come support a golf tournament, anything that gets you out and gets you meeting other people and learning what other people are doing.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for joining me today. For our viewers, tell them how to reach you.
The Grapevine Chamber of Commerce is at 200 Vine Street in Grapevine. You can reach me via email, RaDonna, RaDonna, at grapevinechamber.org, or you can call the office, 817-481-1522.
Thanks, RaDonna. Thanks, my friend. Thanks to our great guest and to all of you for listening to Hometown Banknotes, the voice of local business and community in Grapevine and Northeast Tarrant County. I'm Janice Spooner, Market President with NBT Financial Bank. We've officially had our approval for our groundbreaking, and that is coming in just a few weeks for our full service branch, which will serve as a true hometown hub for relationship banking and community growth. Until our doors open for the branch, I am excited to say I'm already in Grapevine Station in my loan production office. You might hear me refer to that in the future as my LPO. My team and I were involved in our community in Grapevine. We love it, and we just encourage you to join us in walking those paths. Before we wrap, I am excited to share a new way NBT Financial Bank is investing in our future. It's so important to us. We're launching a scholarship program for GCISD seniors at both schools. So each month, we will award a $500 scholarship, alternating between Grapevine Mustangs and Colleyville Heritage Panther seniors. It's our way of celebrating leadership and supporting our students in both of our hometown high schools. Please spread the word. You can learn more about this program by calling me at my direct line at 817-752-2323, or you can find all things NBT Financial Bank at our website, www.nbt.bank. Thanks for joining us on Hometown Banknotes. If you like today's episode, be sure to follow, share, and like, and show someone how to make a difference in their life by understanding what's going on in the economy, their life, and in their community.